Namaste everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Breaking It Down. I know it's been a very long time that BBV has released any kind of Breaking It Down videos, and I personally apologize for that because I was not getting time to either make videos or to edit them, so on and so forth. But here I am, and let's continue with this very video. Today, we are going to talk about rise in petrol prices and India's petrol problem. Now, India is in a very unique situation that it forms one of the largest buyers of crude oil in the world after China. And China is in a similar position, but China's economy is not very reactive to the prices of crude because they have a huge economy. But that will be discussed not now. We'll talk about India's situation. A lot of India's foreign currency is given into buying crude oil. There were some pacts between Iran and India where exchange used to happen in rupee, so that was beneficial to us. But due to all the geopolitics in the last 2 to 3 years, we stopped importing oil from Iran. So we'll be talking about India's oil problem and this unending story of petrol prices. It's a very politically sensitive issue. You cannot justify petrol prices when you are in power. You have to just keep mum about it. This government has come out and justified the petrol prices, but not the Prime Minister, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, who is the minister in charge of the department. So we'll be talking about this in 5 points. The first point is international prices and trading. So you have to understand that international prices of Brent crude, and there is a West Virginia market. So there are these two benchmarks of determining the oil prices. I won't be going into complexities of these two benchmarks, but let us understand that these are the determinants of oil prices in global market. Now, oil is not traded at current price. Usually oil is always traded at future prices. So I buy oil on a price after 1 month. Like I speculate the price, what will be the price of oil after 1 month, and then I buy several million barrels of oil if I am a global player in crude for a price which is speculated to come after 1 month, and I pay that price today. So this speculative future pricing is very volatile. Even a single information or misinformation can change the whole ball game of oil. So international prices and international pricing is a very unpredictable subject. On this issue only, we'll be going on another international issue. It's not about pricing, but it's about controlling the supply of oil into global markets. Now there's an organization called OPEC. OPEC is an organization of oil producing countries. So this organization decides not only the prices, it does not decide prices, it has left it to open markets now, but it determines, even if it does not determine price, it determines the production of oil. So it's a very smart move. When you increase the production of oil, the prices will drop down. When you decrease the supply of oil, the prices will go up. Their justification for reducing the global production right now, they have reduced the global production. Their refineries are working on a 50% capacity, 60% capacity. They usually work on 90% capacity. So the refineries have reduced, and their justification is that we have to fulfill all the losses we have suffered in the past 7-8 months of the global pandemic. Because at that point of time, if you remember, the barrel price of futures, it's a derivative of oil. It's not the oil barrel, but a derivative of oil had come into negative. So they had to come up, and there were huge losses in the oil industry during the pandemic because no one was traveling. No aircrafts were flying. So these people are going to compensate for their losses in the next, I don't know what time, but 2 or 3 months. So they'll be going on with the reduced supply of oil. The second factor here, and which is the most politically sensitive topic, is the government cess and taxes. Now, if you remember that oil, diesel, natural gas, CNG, and all kinds of non-renewable fuels are out of the ambit of GST, which means that the central government, the union government, and the state governments, respectively, in their ambits of the 7th schedule, can impose any amount of taxes, cess on petrol and diesel and other fuels as they want to, because in GST council there are slabs of percentage. Here the oil is taxed almost 100%. So if oil price is 50 rupees, even the taxation, accumulative taxation on it goes also 100%. So 50 rupees tax is 50 rupees price, so you are getting petrol at 100 rupees per liter. It will touch 100 rupees in few days. They have given signals to that effect also. Now, this is a very poor taxation method, and we won't be talking much about that, but this relying on petrol price for unscrupulous taxation is a very poor move, and it's an unsustainable move, because the third reason, petrol drives prices. Petrol drives prices, that means that petrol determines the prices of all the other commodities, all the other services, because for example, if I have to bring vegetables from Nashik to Mumbai, then because of increased diesel prices, the transportation will be more, the transportation will be more, so the cost price of the vegetables also increases. Thus, petrol and diesel prices, fuel prices, all in all, drive other prices crazy. So this unscrupulous taxation of the government on petrol and diesel is not sustainable. It's highly recommended that the government does not depend on only petrol and diesel taxation. It also opens up different other methods of taxation which will compensate for what the loss it is given. The third smaller factor of the second factor is that the customers do not enjoy the benefit of fuel prices going down. Customers are suffering when the fuel prices goes up, and government gets a reason to increase the fuel prices. So if global fuel prices again go like 2008, 9, 10, 12 to 114 dollars per barrel, then the government will definitely go and say that, oh, look at the global prices, we have to pay more foreign currency, so we'll increase the prices here. So they'll drive up petrol prices as high as 150 rupees. Just giving a estimate, not a insider information. So 150 rupees. And if they come down to as low as $30 per barrel, the government won't reduce prices. So it's a one-way street. You climb to it, you rise the petrol prices, but if they lower on the global markets, you don't lower it in India. The third reason, which is given again by the government and the international people who control oil, is rise in petrol prices. Now, because in global pandemic no one was walking, no one was traveling, there was no demand. Now when the demand has increases, prices increase. It's simple economics, but it's unreasonable because the demand was same. Actually, it's lesser today as compared to pre-pandemic, because many parts of the world are still in lockdown right now. The fourth and the last factor, sometimes government taxes to give signals to the people that what you should do and what you should not do. So if it's taxing a commodity, then you have to understand that the government is discouraging citizens from using that and driving them somewhere else. Now let's assume for a moment that government is raising prices of petrol to discourage them from buying petrol and use public transport, use electric vehicles. But then the problem here is that public transport in many states is not sufficient. It has reduced due to pandemic, so people have no other option but to travel by their private vehicles. 3. In past few months, government has also increased taxation on solar and renewable modes of transportation. So government is giving very confused signals to the people about what they should do. The only signal which government is giving right now is we want money, you want petrol, that's a convenient transaction, will be benefited. You will get petrol at a higher price. You have to determine how much you want to waste it or make use of it. So it's a very unfortunate situation India is in right now. It is completely wrong for the Prime Minister to blame that the Congress has created situation. Mr. Modi, you had 6 years to change some of the situation. Yes, the global dependence on petrol has reduced, but it has not reduced substantially the way it should have for the past 6 years. Thank you for watching this video, and do not forget to like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and do watch and do keep watching Bharat Bhagya Vatata. Thank you so much.